Appreciate you hitting the button. Welcome to the How to Hustle podcast with Hype. This is episode 30. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Hype. That's HYMPE. It's Hype. It's not hype. I'm not geeked up. As you always know, if you're locked in and listening to the How to Hustle podcast, every time we come back with a block of recordings, we got new announcements. And we got another one. Shout out to the THC network out of New York. You will now find us there Saturdays at 10 a.m. on the THC radio network. All right, give you the regular rundown now for everybody else. Shouts out to the THC for bringing us on. We have more announcements coming. Once shit is official, we make the announcements. Mondays is the X Squad affiliates, 2 o'clock every Monday on the X Squad affiliates. Then we got the GFT radio network that is Tuesdays, 2 o'clock. Wednesdays, we are on the Kickback app that is 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then we go to Philly for the my bad, T. WTNUphilly.com, 12:30s on Thursdays, and then Fridays is the I Say Podcast Network. That's 10 a.m. on Fridays. We got something for Sundays, y'all. 7 days, 7 cities, and got more shit in the works. Okay, now we're talking about episode 30. Introduce yourself to the audience.
What's up, everyone? This is Shon. Well, first of all, let me say thanks for inviting me as a guest, man. I appreciate it. I love the show.
No.
Love what you do with the relationships, man. This platform is needed. So continue to do what you do. I
appreciate you hitting the button there.
For sure, man. You got my support. I am Shon Hyneman. I am a relationship coach. I am the one you see before you buy the ring. Okay, not after
the one you see before you buy the ring. Talk that shit. Damn.
Yeah, I'm the one you see before you buy the ring, because as we all know, and I've been down this road because I've been through a divorce, that when you buy the wedding ring, no one is going to convince you that this wedding is going to be off. No matter how many red flags you see, you done spent your money on this ring. So you in the counseling already.
Hold up. I got to stop you here. We ain't doing this right now. This is another episode. This is a whole nother episode. Keep this whole. I love what you're going to take me here right now, but we're not prepared for that right now.
Okay.
That's an episode right there. So now you just locked yourself in for a second appearance on the How to Hustle podcast, right? Hey. Because that's a whole nother show, and we ain't there right now. I got you though. We'll get there. Cause damn, you was going there.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I didn't give you my elevator pitch. So anyway, yeah, I'm the one that you see before you buy the ring. You can also find me across all social media platforms. Just type in "It's Scary to Remarry." You will find me across YouTube, all those social media platforms. Happily married, been through a divorce, remarried, met my wife on Instagram. We have 4 kids all together. We have a blended family, as well as we have 2 kids together as well. So that's me in a nutshell.
All right, now let them know which city you coming out of. International Hype is one of the hashtags. We don't keep things just local here on the How to Hustle podcast, right?
Yeah, I am representing Austin, Texas.
Shouts out Texas, love Texas, a lot of love out of Texas. Half my guests from the podcast been from Texas, damn near. All right, yeah, you definitely locked yourself in now for a second appearance on How to Hustle podcast. This is one that I always forget too, man. Shout out to the GFT radio network. Every Monday nights live on the YouTube channel, we do different conversations about different things. Hashtag join the conversation. So you can catch me there every Monday on the GFT Radio Network's YouTube page. I Say Podcast Network also has a YouTube page. You can subscribe there too. And X Squad Affiliates got a YouTube. You can subscribe there too. Now, let's dive into the topic here on How to Hustle on episode 30. What is the foundation of love? We let the guests go first here.
And the foundation of love for me in my own personal life, this comes with I won't say religious, but kind of this personal relationship with God, man. I think that's very important. And to each his own, everybody has their own belief system. But I do believe if you do have a higher power and that connection and knowing who you are and who that higher connection, I believe through that, that's when you can have that love for yourself, and then you can distribute that love to others.
Okay. See, this is one thing that listening to you, that I like that you do. We got different opinions on it. You Christian or Muslim, but as long as everybody's respectful in these situations, you can have great conversations and long, prosperous relationships. Half my family's Muslim, half of them is Christians, and we don't have the we don't do this and we don't do that. As long as you ain't got no pork chops in the building, we good.
That's what's up. My wife was Muslim, so yeah, beautiful, beautiful religion, man. So yeah, shout out.
Yeah, I like that's what I'm saying. I like that you always tend to go towards a faith-based situation. And for me, that's a strong thing for me too. Is like I can't say none of us can say that we go 100% with what we're told to do
Right.
because nobody's perfect. But I try to be as close to 90 as I can, should I say. But the foundation of love to me would have to be like respect. The reason why I would say respect is because you have to have a certain amount of respect, a certain level of respect for whoever the individual is. Because when we talking love, that could be the love between two guys that are friends, you and your child, you and your mate, you and your parent, cousin, whoever. Like, so all of that comes with a certain amount of respect. When you have a certain amount of respect for somebody, it's like you won't take it there with them because of that respect, because of that. The foundation of that situation is like at the end of the day, that's my mom. I ain't gonna say that. That's my dad. That's my brother. Because it's one of those things that you realize when you get old. This is the problem with the generation that's going on now is everybody think that they can just do what they want. That I can do whatever I want. I'm doing me. I'm living for the moment. BS is what messes things up. Because as you become an adult and you get responsibilities, and like you said, you got 4 kids and a wife. I got 2 kids and a wife. Once you have people looking for you to uh once you are responsible for other human beings, you realize that what you want and what you have to do are two totally different things. Okay. and
Preach.
again, and again, it's the respect level that you have for your situation. Yeah, I can go to the bar and blow $200 just on some BS, or I can pay this light bill. I can get these school supplies. Like I could take care of. We trying to get a vacation going. Like it's so many other different things. Like all of that doing what I want shit is for people who are at young 20s with no responsibilities. You can't be 35, 45, 55 and still doing what you want unless you got the bag. And even I mean, unless you got the bag, and even in that situation, doing what you want, and you ain't around for these kids, and the relationships ain't as strong as you want them to be when your ass is the one that's sick in the hospital and ain't nobody coming to see you.
Yeah, or you can be in your early 20s with a kid. You got to be responsible.
No, you could be in you could be
Yeah.
12 with a kid,
Yep.
and guess what? Your whole life is now about somebody else, and it's hard to realize that at 12 or 19 or 20 or 23 or 45 for some people.
Yep.
Like, but once you have the responsibility of another human being, whether it be 1, 2, or 4, your life is not about you anymore. Like,
Preach. That's real.
um, all right. So also now, so you would say that religion, how did and switch it all the way up? How did religion help you become a better husband? Because I know that your whole situation is it's scary to remarry, which means you came out of a divorce and you went into a whole nother situation. Listening to your show, you dive into a lot about how your faith helps you out, but dive into that for my listeners.
Great question. I love that. A lot of this came with men who held me responsible, right? Men who gave me those morals and values, from a biblical perspective, right? These guys, and I think this is something that we're missing in today's society, that we miss that accountability. We miss those people who's saying, nope, that's wrong. Nope, you need to tighten that up. And that's not saying out of judgment. That's saying, no, I want to see you do better. I want to see you prosper. I don't want to see you making the same mistakes that I made. So in that, I would meet with mentors. I would meet with pastors and guys who held me accountable. And we would have little Bible studies or accountability sessions, man, where we like, look, this is why I suck right now. And it sucked, but it's like training camp, right? But once you make the team, you're good. It's one of those things that you got to go through, man. And you learn these different kind of disciplines in your life, and you carry them with you. And that's why I think that's that internal work that has to be done first. Because for me, I love my wife, but at the same time, I'm accountable to God that helps me love her, if that makes sense.
So what you're saying is basically what I'm hearing out of that is one, this is something that we talked about a couple episodes ago. Shout out to my man Big Dan at the BTG podcast. You got to have good old heads. You got to have good people around you to give you the game, and you have to realize sometimes that you are the problem. Like,
I'll preach.
You gotta be able to. This is one of those things like we talked about on the Why Marriage Works episode. Was I try to always look at problems from my wife's perspective. Obviously, you think your way is the right way, which is why you're doing whatever it is your way. Like, duh, you do agree with you. Like, I remember my man said that, like, I agree with that. Like, nigga, you just said it. Of course you agree with it.
Of course.
So it allows you to get what you were saying though is it gave you a certain perspective on things. It allowed you to look at things differently. And also it allowed you to listen and implement some of these things that these people are giving you. Like you said, your pastors and just, your friends through the church.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Because there's always three sides to a story, right? There's your side, her side, and then there's the truth. And you need that objective. You need that third party to look outside of what you feeling, and they can help you. But this only comes from trusted people. This isn't based off of Google.
No. Yeah, this isn't everybody. Copy.
Right. Yeah. I just want to, put that out there. This isn't Facebook. This isn't Instagram. These are people you have literally done life with, that they know you inside out. They know your trifling self, but then they know where you're trying to go to as well.
Two things that you triggered me with. You said one thing, it was no judgment. Episode 28, I'm saying, shouts out to Sonny. Episode 28 is all about judgments and why they're not a bad thing. Sometimes everybody makes judgments of everybody, and that's just perfectly fine as long as we all are adult enough to admit it.
Yep.
And you have to, like, how can I put this? You have to be willing to grow. And if you come out of any relationship, and obviously the foundation of that relationship had to have been messed up, something went wrong here. So you need to look at yourself. You can't just be like, I was doing everything perfectly fine and nothing was wrong on my end. Like, something had to be wrong. Like, on that, you could have been too giving. Because if you're the person that says, like, oh, I did everything that they wanted, okay, maybe you were too giving and not harsh enough. Because, like, this is one of those things I always tell I always go through with my kids, is like, it's not about the $50 that you want to buy whatever this is. Sometimes you just need to hear no. You need to hear no because you need to have the value and appreciation for something. And that even goes, like, it's not even like, let's say, treat your spouse like a child, because it can work both ways for the woman or the male. It's like, sometimes you need to hear no just because you need to know that everything doesn't work on your time. Like, you're not the end all and be all of everything. Sometimes you have to realize that it's not about you right now. And some people have a very hard time realizing it's not about me. It's about either today is about, like, sometimes you end up going somewhere with your wife and it's just about, yeah, she just needed me to be here. Yep. I don't know, these people don't want to be here, and I'm hoping the Wi-Fi doesn't go out on me. And sometimes she's in those,
that's grown people.
And sometimes she's in those situations, but it can't always be about what you want to do and how you want to do it.
And can I say something real quick? While you were talking, I wanted to interject this as well, is that me going through a divorce, because, and I tell people this all the time, I have failed publicly, right? I've had this YouTube channel. I was picking up checks from the YouTube channel, all this other stuff. And going through that divorce, I had to realize that my issues, I had to realize I was stonewalling. I was mentally underdeveloped. My emotions weren't always in check. Like, all these different things that I was selfish, right? I can go down a list. But I do believe one of the reasons I was able to remarry and have the woman that I have now is because I was able to admit my faults. I think.
How old were you when you were married the first time?
I was 24.
Oh yeah, you was. Whew.
I
had too much play in me at 24 to get married. You got to be honest about their situations. Yeah. Like, at 24, man, my mindset at 24 and my mindset at 34. I can just tell you that.
Yeah. So
Damn, 24. Wow.
Yeah, 24. Raising having a blended family with a child that was half my age. So
Yeah, in fact, now that you said that, I heard you say that on it. Yeah.
yeah.
Shit, yeah, y'all in there playing Madden together, probably. Like,
Yeah, right. People are like, this your little brother? I'm like, no, this is my son. They're like, oh. So yeah, but you live and you learn. Hindsight is 2020.
all right. So now to get back to that foundation of love situation.
Yes.
Uh, you said the foundation of y'all marriage then is a faith is your faith base is the foundation of your marriage. So
Yes.
would you say that that's the foundation of all your relationships? If that's any of them, if that's parent to child, if that's child to parent, if that's friendships, if that's just are all of your relationships based off of that?
Yes. And that starts with me, regardless of how people might act. Like I have to take myself not to I have to learn not to be too serious with myself and realize that everything ain't always about me. You know what I'm saying? So there might be times where somebody might be upset at me. It could be a coworker or things of that nature. It's not my job to be pissed off with them. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to receive that. They could just be having a bad day, but that doesn't change how I'm going to treat you as a person.
See, that's one of them things. Another one of those things I always go to is like, I can't control how you receive the message that I'm giving you. Offended is a choice. It's not like a thing. Like somebody hears, for me personally, like let's go here. The word nigga, to me, it doesn't hold the same weight and connotation that it did on the plantation when they were saying it to demean you. They were using it then to demean you. And if you're offended by it, that's perfectly fine. That's your decision. That's your choice. Me personally, though, it's not going to be, there is not one thing that anybody in the world can say to me that completely will shut my entire world off.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I'm just not there. Like, I'm just not that guy. So, two of us, like, I remember I was on the sub a couple years ago, and dude runs on the train,
Mm-hmm.
and these two Indian guys is talking. He looks at his man. He says, "Yo, you the flyest nigga on here." I looked up and he looked at me. He went, "Oh shit, dude, I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry, yo." I started laughing like, "Yo, it's not that deep. Like, I'm not receiving this as you disrespecting me or nothing like that. Like, that's
For sure.
just, them just words." But
Yeah.
so like, all right, hold on, because we switched it in there to what the question was and what the answer was that you gave me. That's why I said is it, I flip it again. Is it one of those things where it's like I'm not gonna compromise who I am to be in this situation? Or is it like you were saying, like if I give you this and you receive it a different way, like I mean, I have no time for that. Like I have no time or energy to give that. Which one
Mm-hmm.
of those two things would you say it is? Or is it
Yeah.
both?
I would say the former. I would say the first because for me, it's just based on my moral code and the way I operate as a person.
Mm.
So I've and that has taken years, and I'm not perfect in this area yet. I have not perfected it, but
None of us don't I just
yeah, you
don't do
just
that
said
to
that earlier,
yourself.
right?
Don't
Yeah.
do that to yourself. Perfection is something that none of us can obtain. We can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of us are on Twitter and you go, damn, she is thick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
It happens. Like, like it's nothing that you can do about this stuff unless you're going to cut the whole world off and stay in the house, live under a rock. Like, the reason why it wasn't hard for those guys back in I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't hard for those guys back in those times. I wasn't there. I don't know what the situation was. It's
Right.
just easier access to everything in the world now.
Damn.
Like, you can see AustralianChicks.com and you be, where the hell are these chicks? It's like you can do anything these days. So
Yeah.
don't kill yourself striving for perfection. Perfection ain't something we can do. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep it as close to 90 as possible. I'm
Yeah.
probably somewhere around 88. Like,
I'm like 84.
okay. That's what I'm saying. That's cool.
Yeah.
Most niggas is 17s and 20s. Like, so that's cool. Like most
I
people don't
received that. That's what's
most
up.
people most people don't know who they are, what they are, or like I was listening to a podcast.
Mm.
The Bruh, shout out to the Bruhs podcast. They'll probably be on next week. because they're in this block of recordings that I'm doing.
Mhm.
And they was talking about how they was going through like the old MySpace pages and seeing some of the shit that they was saying, doing, and wearing at 17, 18, 19, and like, damn, that was crazy that I was doing all of that. I'm like, man, for me, I locked in on this personality when I was fucking 15 and
Mm.
or younger, maybe, because
Yeah.
all my friends were older than me. So it was like, if I look at some shit from 2006, the same shit that I'm probably some of the same stuff that I'm saying now is the same shit that I was saying then. The only things that kind of really changed it was, like I said, you get married, you have kids, and your life starts to be not about you, and it's about taking care of these other responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But at the core of who I am, it's the
Yeah.
same person that I always been.
Facts. I totally agree.
All right. So let's switch up the topics now, and let's dive in a little bit of what you got going on. Talk to us a little bit about the podcast, because I call my shit the podcast drive through. But goddamn, I look at your joint here. We got an 11-minute joint, a 10-minute joint. This is the podcast grab and go. We're gonna have to call your shit.
Yeah, man. The podcast, again, it's scary to remarry with the YouTube channel and the podcast. The reason why I limit them is because I understand that people, man, we live in this fast food society. So if I can hit you straight with the point, no fluff, no BS, I want to give you something that you can walk away with within the 7-minute time frame. So that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, and I just break those down to chewable pieces of content. So yeah, right now I just have it scary to remarry going on, just building a YouTube channel. I'm also coming out with a dope infographic that I'm going to work on as far as tools, something that you can do to help you to land this specific person for you. It's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to this because I do believe that there is a certain formula that you can use to help you land the right person, but there's some things that has to be in place first in order to get this person. So I'm looking forward to that.
Two things. Hold on. Two things on what you just said. One, I love that you make them that they only 7 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes. That's how when I first got on you. In fact, shout out to Jackie. Shouts out to the table for putting me on.
Yeah.
She told me, yo, you need to get with him, and I think y'all could do some good shit together.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jackie.
Shout out.
I love that you make it like that, because just me going through them, it's so easy for me to just go through. The first day I listen to 5, 6 of them, and I go, okay, now I already have an idea of your content. I got a feel for the type of person that you are. Like I said, I'm regurgitating some of the shit that you said because this is how you know I listen to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it easier to catch the audience, and it makes it easier for them to understand it if you get straight to it. This is why I try to be the podcast drive through. Let's get straight to the topic. Let's go straight there, get it to the people, and then you make your own assessments based off of all of that. Like, let's give you no fluff and just banter. We did all that before we start hitting the record button.
Yep.
And what did you just say? The tools that you need to find the person that you want?
Yeah, I think that there's a
Shouts out to the What Up Though podcast. You know what I'm saying? That was a couple of weeks ago. We did the episode on what do you do to match your relationship standards. Everybody has their own standards. What are you doing to match those standards? You can't come in and say, I want you to have these 25 things and all I got is this. No, you have to tell me what you're stacking up to stack up. So shout out to the What Up Though podcast. We did that one. I think that was episode 25, 26, something like that. Go ahead though, you were saying.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, it's gonna be revealed in the infographic. I don't want to give away too much right now because it's coming soon. But and again, that's going to be bite-sized pieces of content in this infographic that you can grab and go, and you can always use this as your little manual when you're in this dating process. So I'm excited about that. Outside of that, I'm also working on a book. Thinking to maybe come out sometime around in the summer of 2022. It's going to be called Don't Become Who Hurt You. And I think that's the problem.
Talk that shit. Damn, that's a hard one.
Yeah, right. Think about this. We live in a society where we touch and go. Somebody hurt us, we take that hurt, and then we become who hurt us, and then we go and perpetuate. There's nothing worse, this in my opinion, there's nothing worse in the world than becoming somebody who hurts you, and then you go do the same thing to hurt somebody else.
Becoming the person having those same traits that you hated in another individual, and now because you're the person in power, you're putting all of that on somebody else.
Say that.
God damn.
Say that.
Hey, Bruce, shout out to my man Bruce Leroy. I know Bruce like that one.
Yeah, so that's what I got coming out, man. And again, it's not going to be a long book. I'm just going to start it with the ebook, and we'll see how the sales go. And if people really feeling it like that, then we'll transfer to paperback. So we'll see how that works.
Damn, that was a hard one right there. Shit. I heard it, and I know y'all heard it too. Y'all heard he threw it in there too. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. You can use that one. I threw you that gem, the grab and go. You know what I'm saying? You got that one.
Yeah.
But I definitely appreciate you coming on. The way you started off this episode, like I said, we're gonna talk and get you back on in a couple of weeks or so. Because that was a hell of a start off. Oh damn! Shout out to What Up though. She calling me now. But yeah, that was a hell of a start. I'm telling you, that's definitely your second appearance on the How to Hustle podcast with Hype. But that's episode 30, y'all. I appreciate you for coming on, and you get with me, and you know what I'm saying, we can make this thing happen. Shouts out to the table for getting us, you know what I'm saying, for bringing us to the table. Shouts out to Jackie for bringing us though together. That's episode 30, y'all. We are out.